All right. So now we're going to see how we can download this Llama 3.1 within our local machine and start using it with the tools which we are talking about. So let's go and search for GPT for all in the Google website. So if I just going to go to the Google, I'm going to search for GPT for all. You see that this is the tool, the GPT for all from the nomic.ai, which does this for you. So if we just go over here, you can see that it says run large language model locally. And you can run this, or we can download this software for both Windows, Ubuntu, and Mac operating system. And it does all those things for you automatically, which is great. Not only that, you can also run local documents. For instance, if you have a PDF file, maybe it's a requirement file for testing, and you can just upload that requirement and then you can ask the questions on those requirements. It can summarize those information for you as well. So you can do those things using the local document based models which can help you do that. So this is the thing. You can see that this is the third fastest growing GitHub repository of all time. It has got 65,000 plus GitHub stars, and it has got 70,000 plus Python package monthly downloaded, and it is so good. So I think this is the best software that you can try out to run things locally within your machine. And the other one which I was talking about is the Ollama. So if you just search for Ollama over here, this is the tool. It also gets up and running with the large language models in your local machine. And you can see that it also has got the one for Mac OS, Linux, and for Windows, it is in a preview version. So maybe there are some breaking changes happens, or maybe it just does not work as expected. But yeah, there could be any problem, but I have not tried this in my Mac machine. I only tried this in my Windows machine. And because we're running everything in my Mac, I would probably recommend you to go with the GPT for all tool. So I'm going to go ahead and download this in my Mac machine. So it is downloaded. And now I'm going to go and double click for the installation. So let's do the installation over here. So the installation is going to be very, very straightforward, like in the Windows machine as well. So there is not going to be quite a lot of things that you gotta be doing it. So I would just leave those installation for you for the Windows machine. It is going to be as simple as that. So once the installation is fully done, I will be back. There we go. The installation is fully completed. So I'm going to go ahead at the finish, and I'm going to close this one, and I'm going to open the GPT for all in my Mac. GPT for all. There you go. And it should just open up the application, which is this one, as you can see over here. So this is great. This is already doing things over here. So now I'm going to go hit the start chatting. But before you start chatting with the large language model, you got to be downloading the large language model as well. And again, a word of caution before we go any further. Because I'm running my Mac operating system on an M1 Max processor, my machine may not be slower. But if you're running in a slower Windows machine, your model may be slow to perform those operations. Maybe you need a bit of a bigger GPU to perform these operations. And because I got a bit of more GPU, because I run on an memory. So if I just go to show you the activity monitor over here, you can see that I have got a physical memory of 64 GB. And my processor is also quite faster because I'm running an M1 Max processor. So that makes more sense for me to run the GPT locally. But again, if you have a finer machine, I would highly recommend you to just use. If not, your model may perform a bit slower. So the first menu which I want to show you on this GPT for all software is the models menu. So you see that this is where things are going to be very, very important. It is going to show you the available models for you in your local machine. See, I have already downloaded the Llama 8 billion instruct in my machine. I also downloaded the 8 billion instruct with 128,000 tokens already. So it is also there. And you can see that this particular model also tells you that this is for the advanced users only, not recommended for the use on Windows or Linux without selecting CUDA due to speed issue. So that was I was exactly telling. You should have a GPU which has CUDA support. If you don't even have a GPU with the CUDA support, you may encounter the problem. So those are the bit of a caveat. Well, you gotta be using this one if not, because it is less parameters and tokens it accepts. But this guy accepts quite a lot of token, like 128,000 token, which means it can take an entire page to consume and process that for me. So that is the reason why I have got this one. And I'll show you the use cases of these two models while we get to work with the automation testing using these tools. So that's the model I have got over here. I've also got some more models installed. I can now add a few models if I wanted to. So if I just go and hit this add models menu there, button there, you see that we have got the Mistral Instruct model. I can download that and it supports 7 billion parameter as opposed to 8 billion in the Llama, as you can see over here. And also has got the another Mistral DPO model which has got 7 billion parameters as well. And there is this guy GPT 3.5 Turbo, which is the paid version. So you need to have an API key which can help you query the model, but also get the details like a key, which is going to be like a paid version that you have to be using it. And the GPT-4 is also paid. See, you can't use these models because these are so closed with the OpenAI. So even though you download it, you still need to have a bit of an API key, and everything is being calculated, like the cost is being calculated by OpenAI for you. So you can't just use it directly. And similarly, if you want to use the Claude from Anthropic, then you gotta be using that with the API key as well. So that's all happens over here. So that's the reason why Llama, which is free and even more powerful from the other models, I would probably stick with these two models. And this is more than enough for our Selenium automation or any automation testing for that matter. It does works quite well. That's what these models are. So this model tab is very, very important. And once you have that, you can now start chatting it. Guess what? I'm also going to turn off the internet over here. So I'm not even going to use the internet, which means it is not even going to talk online to get things for me, but it does work as like how you are seeing the chat GPT or the other large language models from the website. So if I'm going to choose probably the Llama, even the 8 billion instruct over here, and if I'm going to write the same exact prompt, I'm going to say write a Selenium with Java code for Amazon.com website along with page object model. And if I hit enter, you will notice that immediately it is trying to do exactly the same kind of operation that we actually saw in the ChatGPT version as well. See that? It is just writing the entire code for us by just crunching all the information which it has within this particular Llama over here. I mean, it is not giving you exactly what the GPT or the Claude Sonnet gave you, but you can query from here. You can ask, write the above code with testng, and if you do that, you can also see that it is starting to add the dependency for the testng latest version 7.4.0, and then it is transforming the code to use the testng over here instead of the JUnit. So it does work with that as well. And you can also say that, can you add the at before test and at after test for launching the browsers and closing the drivers. So I'm just saying in a bit more blunt way, like browser in one and driver in another. So immediately it is understanding those things and then it is performing those operations for me over here. This is so cool. So you can do that as well by having these tools running within your local machine instead of you doing it from the online softwares like the ChatGPT or Claude Sonnet. In our next lecture, we will see how we can use the Ollama as well to understand how those tools can be helpful for performing the operation that you're looking for.